Okay, so here's another late night video introduction recording. This is a quick video on what I do when I get triggered. What is it like? What do I do? What are the two vital questions I ask to help myself work through that moment of being triggered and get to my healing state? Hey there. So I just came off a particularly difficult morning prayer. I'm still in my pajamas, still in bed. Yeah, you could see I'm a little tear stained and slightly stuffy. It was a hard morning. But I wanted to record a little bit about what I was praying about and why it was hard and why I think it's important for working with spirit. So, I've been putting myself out there and recording this video and starting my YouTube channel after a 2-year hiatus. Spirit put me on sabbatical for 2 years and was like, you got to get your motivation straight. And now that I'm putting myself out there, I'm being very triggered by a lot of conditioned beliefs about how what I'm doing is wrong. So there are a lot of childhood messages from I haven't even done my hair yet today. A lot of childhood messages from, family, from school, from, past authority figures that are like, this is weird. You shouldn't be talking about hearing voices. Talking about rituals and spells makes you kooky. People aren't going to like you if they know about this. I mean, people have literally said, well, I hope you don't tell anybody because they're going to think you're crazy. And as much as the paranormal and witchy things are lauded in media, I grew up, I'm in my mid-50s. I grew up back in the day when it was like, this is creepy and weird and nobody's going to believe you or like you if you get into this niche. And so my mind is full of these messages that are like, you're weird, this is ugly, you're disgracing your family. And then I have some trauma, there's some childhood sexual abuse in my past. And then there's a whole nother strain of voices that are like, you're ugly, you're degraded, you're like I had this metaphor that I'm like the land that was beautiful, but somebody started dumping toxic waste there and now the land can never recover. It's like this scene, if you've ever seen the movie Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they open the ark and all these ghosts are like coming out. And I just keep saying, are you here for my highest good? And the answer is always no. Because it's not really for anybody's highest good to believe that they're evil and weird and nobody will like them and that they're creepy and toxic and cannot recover. And I keep just saying, no, thank you to that. Please leave. And I say something, sorry. Sometimes I say things a little stronger, like get the fuck out of here, But then there's part of me that believes this because this was what I learned growing up about myself. And part of me is afraid to stop believing it. So, this isn't a long video with a ton of tips or whatever. I'm kind of in tough condition this morning. I need to go down to my antiques booth and get my act together and put a bunch of nature materials back in it so people start buying things again, fingers crossed. But I just want to let you know that if this is happening to you, you're not alone. It is something that happens when you start working with spirit, that spirit starts to sort of target the areas where you need healing. And those are a lot of times the areas where you believe not so great things about yourself. There are areas where you've been told things that aren't good, or you picked up beliefs to help you thrive in the conventional world or at school or in your family. And you have to learn to let those go. And it can be very painful. And part of me is like, I feel like I'm trapped in a body where I believe all kinds of awful things about myself and it hurts so much. And then I'm like, okay, that's probably not for my highest good to think that about my body either. And then I hear these things like, I can't figure out how to get better. And I'm like, okay, that's not for my highest good to think that. I can figure out how to get better. I've got to figure out how to believe the things that say that I am a beautiful person and that my contribution is important and that I will find a way to feel better about what I'm doing. And it's like you got to learn to ask yourself as these beliefs come up, is this really for my highest good? And then be brave and work to embrace the things that give life. That's what my inner self finally said. It said, we have to learn to believe the things that are life-giving. So I'm just going to leave you with that thought. What are the things that are life-giving for you? What makes you want to get out of bed in the morning? What makes you feel like life is worth it? What makes you feel like, hey, you know, it's pretty cool to be here on this planet? So I'd love to hear in the comments if you've had this experience, if you have any tips that helped you through it. And if you come up with any thoughts about what those life-giving thoughts are for you, please let me know. And I'm sure we'll end up talking about this more. All right, I'll see you later. Thank you.